Hello students, a very warm welcome to yet another exciting journey of learning English grammar. I hope you all are fit as a fiddle. Today, before we start our lesson, let's have a pearl of wisdom, or let's see what is the thought that I have got for you today. It says, education is the most powerful weapon which can be used to change the world. So children, you have got an opportunity, or you are blessed to have this opportunity to study and gain knowledge. So make utmost use of this particular, or take utmost advantage of this particular blessing by studying hard and becoming something in your life, or achieving something in your life and doing something for the world as well. So students, let's begin with the lesson now. So students, I want you all to have a look at the blackboard and read this whatever I have written here. So here it says, Mary had a little lamb. A little lamb. The spider climbed up the water spout. Up the water spout. Now children, I want you all to focus on this four sentences or four options that I have written on the board and tell me what they are. Okay, can you read it once more and then tell me what they are? Yes, Mary had a little lamb. A little lamb. The spider climbed up the water spout. Up the water spout. So children, now can you tell me what you have observed on the blackboard? Yes, you are right that the first sentence and the third sentence is a sentence. It has a complete meaning, whereas this second one and fourth one does not give us any complete meaning or does not mean anything, right? So today our focus is going to be these part of sentences. And do you know children what they are called? Yes, they are called as phrases. So today we are going to focus on phrases and clauses. So students, let us begin to, now by understanding what a phrase is. So first thing, what is a phrase? It is nothing but a group of words which are somewhere linked grammatically, okay, but they cannot make a complete meaning, or they cannot make a complete sense. They do not give you any meaning when they are standing alone like this, but when they are added to a sentence, they give you a complete meaning, or they give the sentence a complete meaning. So students, I hope you understood what are phrases. They are just group of words. They are linked grammatically. They don't have a subject, they don't have a verb, but they can only give a complete meaning when they are in the sentence. So they are just a part of the sentence which does not give any meaning when they stand alone. So the examples are on the tree, into the room, in a corner. So students, now let us move further and understand the types of phrases. So there are three types of phrases. They are noun phrase, adjective phrase, and last one is the adverb phrase. Now what are these phrases? So as the name suggests, noun phrase is a group of words, or it is a phrase which acts like a noun in the sentence, or it acts like the subject in the sentence. And what is adjective phrase? It acts, or it is a group of words which acts as an adjective in the sentence. And then adverb phrase, as the name suggests again, they are group of words which when added to a sentence act as an adverb. So let's move on and understand more about these phrases. So students, these are the examples. I like mangoes. So here there is one thing that we can do to find out whether it is a noun phrase or not, and that is that it always answers the question what. Okay, so if you get the answer what, then that part of the sentence is the phrase. Okay, so I like mangoes. Rahul is fond of Arjun. So in the first sentence, if you can simply see that what I like is mangoes. So here you can say mangoes is the object in the sentence, right? And then here Rahul is fond of Arjun. So this is the part of the sentence which is acting as a phrase. So sometimes this phrase can act as a subject or it can also act as an object in the sentence, and you can ask the question what, and whatever answer you get is the phrase. So the second example again, Rahul is fond of Arjun. What is Rahul fond of? He is fond of Arjun. So this part of the sentence is the noun phrase. So students, let's have a look at the next kind of phrase, that is an adjective phrase. So first I want you all to look at the examples here. So my neighbor is a wise man. Second, my neighbor is a man of great wisdom. So here in the first example you can see that wise is an adjective, right, and it is a word which is qualifying or it is telling more about the noun, correct. So this is a simple adjective, but when you look at the second example, that is my neighbor is a man of great wisdom, this part of the sentence is the adjective phrase. So these are group of related words, okay, which act as an adjective in the sentence, and thus it is known as an adjective phrase. So let's move on to the next kind, that is adverb phrase. So students, let's understand the adverb phrase now. So as I already told you that the phrase which functions like an adverb in the sentence, then it is known as adverb phrase. So look at the example here, he acted dishonorably. Then he acted in a dishonorable manner. So we ask a question how, right? So here he acted dishonorably. How did he act? Acted dishonorably. So here dishonorably is the adverb, correct? So this is the adverb, but this is only a single word. So in the second sentence if you see, he acted in a dishonorable manner. So here these group of words is nothing but adverb phrase, and we ask the question how he acted in a dishonorable manner. So I hope you understood what adverb phrase is. Now let's quickly move on to the next topic of the lesson, that is clauses. So students, let us now understand about clauses. Clauses are group of words. Yes, they have a subject and a predicate, or if we have to say, then they have a subject and a verb. Okay, they stand alone, as in they have the meaning of them, they have a meaning which makes a complete sense to us, or they have group of words which makes complete sense, right? Now look at the examples. He has a chain which is made of gold. Okay, so here if you see, which is made of gold is a group of words, right, which has a subject and the predicate, or it has a subject and the verb. It makes sense. So if you see, this part of the sentence is making sense or not? Yes, it is making sense, because it tells us that it is made of gold. The chain is made of gold. And if you look at the second example, they play. So here this is also a clause which is a combination of a subject and a verb, or you can say subject and a predicate. It is telling us more about they. So what they did, they played. It is acting as a verb also, and it is a predicate. So such group of related words which stand alone means they have the meaning of their own, or they give the meaning or makes a complete sense, and is a combination of a subject and a predicate, or subject and a verb. They are known as clauses. So students, let's move further and understand the types of clauses. There are two types of clauses. One is independent clause and one is dependent clause. So students, what is independent clause? Independent clause is a group of words that are related to each other. They have a subject and a predicate, right? And they can stand alone. Stand alone means what? They are complete in themselves. They give a complete meaning to us in a sentence, right? So let's look at the examples. So students, have a look at these sentences. I enjoy sitting by the fireplace and reading. So independent clause that can stand alone. So it is a sentence which can stand alone and gives us the meaning. The beach is a lot of fun, yet the mountains are better. So if you can see, there are two parts in the sentence which is joined by a conjunction yet. So the beach is a lot of fun. So this is one main clause or independent clause, and the other one is the mountains are better. So this is another independent clause. So they are both joined by a conjunction yet. Then you have the other next sentence, that is the bridge is narrow, the river is wide. So these are the two different independent clauses which are joined by a semicolon, right? So this was the example for independent clause. Now let's move on further and understand the dependent clause. Alright students, we just understood about the independent clause. Did you know they are also known as main clause or principal clause? So you need to keep in mind the other two names of the independent clauses, because sometimes they refer to them as main clause or they refer to them as principal clause. Now let's understand further about the dependent clause, the second type of the clause. Now dependent clause is something which is a group of related words. It has a subject and a predicate, and they do not give you a complete meaning, means they do not stand alone. They always need a main clause to give their complete meaning to us or to make a complete sense. So if you look at the examples, they will always be found with a main clause, and they will always be giving you a complete meaning only when they are with the main clause, principal clause or the independent clause. Now let's have a look at the examples. When the president arrives. So here they are group of related words. There is the subject and the predicate. But do you get any complete meaning from this, or can you derive something from it? No. So it needs an independent clause to be there to complete its meaning. So look at the other example. Because I can't wait for the bus. I is a subject, can't wait the verb. So it has the combination of subject and predicate or the verb, but it cannot stand alone. It needs an independent clause because of the presence of this because. So students, did you know that these dependent clauses again have been classified into three kinds? What are they? They are noun clauses, adjective clauses and adverb clauses. Now we'll talk about the noun clauses first. So in a sentence, when an dependent clause acts like a noun or the subject or the object of the subject in the sentence, then they are known as noun clauses. And then we have adjective clauses, means what? They tell us more about the noun or they modify the noun. So the clause which modifies a noun in the sentence is known as the adjective clause, which is a kind of a dependent clause. Then the third one is adverb clause. Now adverb, as the name suggests, again there it functions as an adverb in the sentence, or it modifies another adverb, it modifies a noun, or it modifies the subject. Okay, so these were the three different kinds of dependent clauses. Let's have a look at them with some examples. So students, noun clauses are dependent clauses that act as nouns. A noun clause may be used as the subject direct object, indirect object or complement in a sentence. The word that can also be used to convert whole clauses into forms that can be used as the subject or the object of the sentence. So students, look at the example. I expect that I shall get a prize. So here if you see that I shall get a prize, this part of the sentence is the noun clause which is acting as the object for this particular part of the sentence. That is, I is the subject and expect is the verb and this is the object. Now let's look at the adjective clauses. These adjective clauses are dependent clauses used to modify nouns or pronouns. Example, he died in the village where he was born. So here where he was born is the clause which gives you some meaning, however they are not complete, so it needs an independent clause. He died in the village where he was born. So here it is telling us more about the village, so that's why it is a adjective clause. Then we have the adverbial clauses. The adverbial clauses are dependent clauses used to modify verbs, adjectives, adverbs or entire phrases or clauses. So they modify verbs, adjectives and adverbs. Example, they fought as heroes do. How did they fight? As heroes do. So this is part of the sentence is nothing but the adverbial clause. So like adverbs, the adverb clauses show when, where, how, why, with what purpose or on that condition an action is done. So it basically has different kinds of adverbs. As there are different kinds of adverbs, so that many kinds of clauses are there. Adverbial clauses are there. Let's just have a look at those now. So see here students, adverb clauses may therefore be arranged in the following manner. That is, adverb clause of time, adverb clauses of place, adverb clauses of manner, adverb clauses of degree or comparison, adverb clauses of cause or reason, adverb clauses of purpose, adverb clauses of result or consequence, adverb clauses of condition, adverb clauses of concession. So students, we have now come to an end of the chapter. So what did we learn today? We learnt about phrases and clauses, right? So let's have a look at the mind map. So students, we learnt phrases, then we understood that a phrase is a combination of or a group of words which do not make the complete sense. It always needs to be in a sentence to give you a complete meaning, right? So they are group of words and there are three kinds of phrases. One is noun phrase, adjective phrase and adverb phrase. So noun phrase acts like a noun in the sentence, adjective phrase acts like an adjective in the sentence and the adverb phrase acts like an adverb in the sentence. Then we understood about clauses. Clauses are nothing but group of words which is containing or which contains a subject and a predicate, right? And then they are of two types. One is independent clause and dependent clause. Independent clause gives you a complete meaning, right, when it is in the sentence. So it does not require any other clause like dependent clause to complete its meaning. However, unlike independent clause, dependent clause requires independent clause to give you a complete meaning, right? So they are dependent clause. Then you learnt about noun clause, adjective clause and adverb clause. So noun clause gives you or talks about the noun in the sentence and adjective clause is acting as an adjective in the sentence, and then adverb clause acts like an adverb or modifies another adverb, modifies an adjective or modifies a verb in the sentence. So students, I hope you have understood the lesson. Do refer the textbook which is prescribed for you and study well. We shall meet again in the next video with a new chapter. Until then, you all take care and happy learning.